The nature of our company as a small, extremely agile company is that it doesn't take us a long time to make decisions. And the customers that we've worked with that have helped us bootstrap have been looking for specific features from their community platforms that were missing that we were able to introduce to them. We're able to really like solve a community problem, not try to figure out how to introduce a technology into a platform because an investor is asking for it. So like solving the right problem with the right technology at the right time.
Hey everyone, I'm Todd Nilson and I've been working as a community strategist since 2013. I'm starting a new video series where I'm walking through community platforms with the people who build them. But here's what makes this different. These aren't your typical marketing demos. Community platforms are a major investment. In each of these episodes, you'll get a real walkthrough of a platform with someone who knows it inside and out. But you'll also get my perspective as someone who's been through dozens of platform evaluations and launches. Subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single episode. So let's figure out which community platforms are actually worth your time. Your community, your rules. I am joined today by the founder and head of product with AllPeeP.com, a community platform that I've had the pleasure of knowing for several years now. And I'm excited to bring them to you to talk a little bit about their platform, see what it looks like, how it works, and who it might be a best fit for. Maybe it's a best fit for you. So with that, I want to welcome Anca and D'Angelo to the show here. Why don't you take a moment to introduce yourselves, and we'll get into the demo here in just a minute.
All right, Angela, you want to go first?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Todd, for having us here. As you said, we've been collaborating, knowing each other for several years now, and this is a full circle moment. I'm D'Angelo, founder and CEO at AllPeeP. Born and raised as a South Floridian, engaging in communities. My family is of immigrant background, and community has played a vast role in my life, and so glad to be helping build out infrastructure and collaborating with pioneers like Todd and making sure that we're building in community and not just for community.
Hi, I'm Anca Mosoiu. I'm AllPeeP's head of product. My background is mostly in software engineering, but like D'Angelo, I'm also an immigrant to the US, and I've been working with online community for a while. But my specialty was really an in-person community, which with the COVID pandemic really kind of threw all of my in-person things into disarray. So I've been doing a lot of stuff online since then, and building AllPeeP has really helped. With some of the activities and things that I'm building with my own communities, but then also with some of the things that I see around me with my customers and other people that I work with. And yeah.
Well, I know that both of you have been hard at work building and bootstrapping and fundraising, to get the AllPeeP community off the ground, and it's really come a long way over the past couple of years. And I've been honored to be a part of that. What's behind the name, and what was the inspiration to create this platform?
Absolutely. So behind the name of AllPeeP, it stands for all people, where we're taking the inclusive approach. So prior to starting AllPeeP and going on this journey with Anca, Christoph, and the rest of our team, I co-founded an online influencer marketplace after being denied during college freshman year of college as an engineer from recruiters of an engineering internship. So I was like, you know what, the way I'm going to build out my technical experience is connecting with small businesses and helping them navigate the high cost of social media ads on social media platforms by building their communities there. And due to like censorship, the ever-changing shifts of the algorithms, a lot of the smaller businesses and the rest of the communities online, they were still struggling. So I started to think, what would it be like if these mission-driven organizations and online communities can have ownership behind the infrastructure of the social platform to have the power to build community how they envision it. So very similar to like WordPress. So the name comes from a belief that technology should work for people, not extract from them. So by like taking a technology, making it open source and giving the power to the people to be able to change the experiences, and as their community grows, they can adapt to that. So I've been on this journey for a couple of years now with Anca's background in building online communities and helping business owners build on WordPress aligns with what I wanted to do with like providing organizations ownership and control of the platform itself, we also decided to make the decision to spend more time building for the communities than just fundraising with venture capitalists and private equity and et cetera, and really understand the problems that communities are being faced with. So were honored when we met you, Todd, in our earlier stages to really learn about the space and build technology the right way for communities, because there's a consistency when there's platforms that come out and they raise a lot of capital, but they forget and lose the vision that they had early on and the early on success with the communities they were building for. So thanks to partners like you, the work that you all are doing at the CCC is keeping us aligned and also within the ecosystem and not losing sight of that vision.
This is something where we can make a difference on a small scale. And with the other co-founder, Christoph, who is in Germany and has been working on a lot of open source software and like data privacy and videos and all of that sort of stuff, it all just seemed like a great time to do something that was better in terms of social media and communities that are based on social media. We're doing the thing that we think is right and finding the customers that are also looking for that and aligning in a way that is very, very exciting and also very smooth and pleasant for implementation.
I think that what you're building is wonderfully aligned to, I think, the early, more optimistic view of the internet. Like if you've ever read the Clue Train Manifesto or any of these pieces where this is supposed to be what these technologies do. They're not supposed to be extractive. They're not supposed to be destructive or leading to emotional contagion. They're supposed to be things that lift people up and connect them to do great work together. And so it's one of the things that I have appreciated about working with both of you over the past few years. So the purpose of this demo series is to provide those who are maybe looking at a community for their organization or company to get a little bit of an insider's view of the things that I look at or ask questions about as a community builder, as a community strategist, and to really kind of get a feel for like where your platform might be a good fit for an organization. And so I'm frequently put in a position where I'm asked for recommendations about platforms, and I spend a lot of time thinking and writing about what some platforms are better at than others. There are answers to these questions. And so I'm hoping that this series kind of gets at that a little bit. For anyone who's interested in AllPeeP and learning more about them as an organization, I will suggest they go ahead and use their phone to scan the QR code above for allpeep.com or visit allpeep.com to learn a little bit more. But let's get right into the demo. Let's take a look at the product and see what it's all about.
All right. So I think that there we go. So this is an example of an AllPeep community. It's a community called the Circuit. Um, the initial exposure that people get to the community is through a community feed that shows the activity that's going on. So this one, folks are talking, this particular community is for technical recruiting with some of our partners in Ghana. And so here we were working on finding someone to do a WordPress internship. And there's some other meetings and product development that are going on. And so what you're seeing here are posts and replies that people are making in the community. So this works very similar to like your basic social media, where you can make a post and you can say hello, people can engage with it. Your posts can also have polls attached to it. So, you can have some typos, like what day would be best. You can post into the entire community. You can also choose to show it to a specific group of people. So there might be two groups that I'm part of here that I can send this message to or post into. You can also attach images or files to these notes. So you can have like a very nice, like a nice post. You can also organize people in groups. Here are a number of different groups within the circuit. We have all these different kind of technologies and folks are, well, this one is one that I'm in, the WordPress internship. These other groups I can join. When you join a group, there's a description. You can see what's going on there. Groups have members. And this group has a lot of admins because we were trying to figure out who was going to be in charge of that. And yeah, members can be invited. The groups within AllPeeP can be either internally visible, or if the community is set up to be visible to the world, you can actually have content that's visible to the world. You can also restrict who joins groups, etc. So these work very similar to, I wouldn't compare them to channels necessarily in Slack, but that's kind of how that would fit. They work similar to groups in Disco or Mighty Networks or Facebook, I guess.
Mhm.
All of your content that goes into groups shows up here in my feed. So all the groups that you're part of, you can see all of the content. You also, in my feed, also see content from anybody within the community that you follow or connect with. So you can find, all the members. You can, see their profiles. You can choose to follow them, and then their content will show up in your feed. We also have support for direct messages. So in here, I was having these conversations with folks in here. We can see some event invitations. So like, for example, here, I had a meeting with Charles that was sent to me as a message. See, we have events, which I didn't show you earlier. So events can be held inside our platform, inside something called a jam, which is our live video meetings, which can be either, actually, you can also do audio only if you want, although right now it looks just like a video meeting where you don't have your profile turned on.
So,
Um,
okay, to just to kind of interject there a little bit, so having a native capability for live meetings is not usual for a lot of platforms. Some have it, but it's a convenience to have that just built in, because you're
yeah.
not required to integrate it with Zoom or some other kind of third-party platform service. There's a lot of convenience for that.
Yes. And actually, so this, I'm giving you like the 5,000 miles an hour tour, not
Yeah.
the let's look at everything kind of tour. But the jam functionality is definitely one of the cornerstones, and what differentiates us, because we think that people cannot just have their meetings and organizing in here inside the community, but we also, with the jam functionality, can allow them to create video content inside the community. So right now we're working on making the jams recordable, which would allow you to, for example, do a demo when you solve a problem and post it directly into the community. So I'm going to show you a couple more examples of these communities. I'm just giving you this super quick tour of the features.
One more question. So my community strategist hat is on here. When
Yep.
you say you're working on making this recordable right now, what is the velocity of the team for being able to roll out stuff like that?
So for that, so the velocity of the team is actually very good. We recently kind of did a big architecture upgrade to our product and improve the framework and the capabilities. So we're able to get features out, within about 6 weeks. Some are a lot faster. Like, for example, the team is also working on bookmarks where you can save a post that someone made that you might want to come back to. That one is happening very quickly because all of the infrastructure is in place for that kind of stuff. But the jam recording is taking a little bit longer.
Yeah, well, I had asked that question because a lot of times, as organizations are looking at community platforms, they'll say, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's on our roadmap to do,"
Oh,
and
yeah. So we're
that's
about 2 weeks out from Jen's reporting to be pushed out. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. No, we're gonna have a version of this available by the end of the year. There's definitely more to do with it because how people want to use those recordings is a little bit different depending on the kind of communities that
of
we
course,
have.
of
And
course.
when did we start developing the Jams recording?
But we kind of kicked it off like mid-November, and so now we
Yeah.
already have something
Yeah.
that's
Pretty
So let's
fast.
talk
sort of
yeah.
working. But
Pretty fast.
um,
That was the point I was trying
yeah,
to make.
I mean,
So
one of
so
the nature of our company as a small, extremely agile company is that it doesn't take us a long time to make decisions. Again, because we're at the early stages of our development, it's gonna slow down a couple of years from now when we have
Yeah.
like tons and tons of things to dependencies and whatnot. But right now it's very fast for us to make decisions. And the customers that we've worked with that have helped us bootstrap have been looking for specific features from their community platforms that were missing that we were able to introduce to them. And so that's part of our strategy where it's like, oh, you know, the person who really needed recording was, we're working with them on their community platform and their community launch and so on. They're not quite ready to use the recording, but they needed it, and so they signed up with us, and all of the other things are great in the community for them. And as we develop that, we're able to continue. So we do have some really great customers that understand our process and are participating with us as we build a platform.
Yeah,
That's
one of the difficulties is for like startups in our stages is getting enterprise contracts. So we've been blessed to get enterprise contracts to fund our product, to fund our team. So that's been helpful in like keeping us aligned with building with impact rather than just trying to raise capital to then build the product. So that's been giving us an advantage.
And one thing for us that's very different, like between working with customers and end users versus investors, is that our customers are not asking us for like, can you put some AI in this? Like they're trying to solve some like real problem. Sometimes AI is the solution to that problem, but it's not always. And like they're
Right.
trying to solve some real problem with their community. And so like we're able to really like solve a community problem, not try to figure out how to like introduce a technology into a platform because an investor is asking for it. So like solving the right problem with the right technology at the right time is important for us.
That's excellent. That's great. Well, so sorry, so I sidetracked you a little in the conversation, but yeah, let's continue. I love to continue.
Um,
Yeah.
Anca, do you
Um,
mind going to the jams tab real quick? I want to see something.
Yeah, let's look at a different one here. We're gonna look at a different community. This is inside.ap.social, which is our internal AllPeep community. So this is how we run all of our meetings. All of our meetings take place in AllPeep inside Jams. We meet every morning. We have, all of our stand-ups and so on. So you can see here are some of our upcoming meetings. And if we go into the Jams tab, here are some that are coming up. We see ones that are in the past. If there's a live one happening, it'll show it to you over here. And D'Angelo, did you start one on the circuit? Is that
I did, but
okay?
I'm starting one in
Okay.
some now.
Okay, yeah, let's do that on inside because the circuit, there's some folks that might be getting notifications that we're doing stuff in there. So I don't want to like wake them up in the middle of the night. But yeah, so we have our meeting at 7 a.m. or 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. depending on where we are in the world. And it just shows up here and we can join it. So here is D'Angelo, and oops, I can join it. Yeah, and then here, I'm gonna allow my microphone to be used over here, but I will not turn it on. So yeah, and here we are. We're in a video conference inside a video conference. Amazing.
Very meta.
Yes, exactly. You can see it's really happening because I'm here, I'm waving.
Nice.
Um, and so we use this regularly. There's emoji, so you can like, heart things, you can clap, you can be upset when there's a bug, all kinds of stuff.
Looks like there's a
Uh,
chat feature in there as
yep,
well.
there is a chat feature,
It was very
and
Zoom like, very Zoom or very Google Meet, type interface. That's
yeah, yeah, we've
great.
taken some of the useful parts of all of these things and have added some of them. So because this is our daily stand-up, so we have here a history of like every time somebody joined the meeting, and sometimes there may be some chat messages. So like here is a link to something. Sometimes people are posting chats. So we have this kind of long-running notes sidebar in our daily stand-up where we can scroll back up and find things and so on.
Oh,
And this is very, very helpful for things that are recurring meetings.
no, thanks for showing this. This is really useful to see a visual on how it works.
We also have screen sharing as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's see if I can do a screen share inside the screen share. I can share the window that we're in the StreamYard just to kind of see if the internet explodes.
Infinite, infinite window. You've just
Yes.
recursively blown up the internet.
Yep. So here we are in this like StreamYard window. We can raise our hands. It makes a little sound.
You stopped sharing the
I
StreamYard.
stopped sharing. Yes, it looks like there was only one stop share button, which stopped all of my screenshares in
Everything.
Firefox.
Yeah. So while you're maybe pulling the demo back up, as far as organizations that are moving over to your platform, have you had any cases where a customer wanted to migrate data from another platform in, or and how did
Yeah.
that work out?
So we were able to, they wanted to migrate their community from, can I say the name of the platform, the old platform? I won't say the name of the organization, but it can be guessed. So we were migrating a community from Mighty Networks, but this can work from any community platform where you have access to the membership and content data. So we decided to migrate all of the humans from one community to the other, but not all of the content for some reasons, primarily because the previous community that this organization was using was set up for this kind of seasonal activity that was happening. And
Okay.
then they wanted to have a year-round continual discussion. And so the seasonal content was sort of less relevant for people that had been there for a while. And so what we did is we just imported all of the membership data and created accounts and profiles and set everybody up, sent them an email saying, hey, this has happened, you can join. And we imported everybody, and we probably had about 60% of those people like click through to see what was going on, which was like a huge, like very successful in terms of like
Yeah.
engagement. And so, I mean, there's some people who, probably change their email address or, but that's to be
Yeah.
expected.
Well, I think one of the strengths that I see in the platform is, especially the perspective of coming from, I'll call it a more involved user experience than, like on a Mighty Networks or Circle or Disciple. Like they're great platforms, great experience. I've worked with all of them, but it is a more complex user interface than what I'm seeing here, which is this is a very relatable social media feed that I'm seeing with AllPeep, with strong organization. Like you're taking the best elements of like a Slack with channels and like a Mastodon, Blue Sky, Twitter type feed experience. People are going to be familiar with that.
Yes.
And so in terms of member adoption, it's a little easier to demo that, bring them in, and they can figure out how it works and use it a little bit more easily.
Yeah. We want the community owners to have the kind of experience that they want to create for their communities. Some of them are going to get very complex because if you have like a 50,000 person community that has a lot of like different subgroups and things like that, that gets a lot more involved. But that concept of the feed of like what's important now is something that like is good about social media, even though like it's sort of the algorithm is manipulated to put something in front of you that they want you to see. That concept is amazing. And so there's people building feeds out of all different kinds of things, like all the documents you've updated and or uploaded to your Google Drive recently, and so on. But that's kind of what we want. We want to be able to show people, hey, this is what's going on in the community that you're part of, and there's things that are happening like right now that you can be part of, and you can also go back and engage with it, at your own leisure if you want to do it that way. But we want that sort of urgency and immediacy because people love social media. They love liking things and like posting things and like responding to things.
Yeah.
And I don't think we touched on the federated aspect of AllPeep, but basically, how like currently a lot of the consumer community facing communities, they're either on a private community platform or within a group within a social media platform. So this whole aspect of AllPeep being private first, while also next year we're going to allow for our communities on AllPeep to cross communicate across platforms that are open, like Mastodon is mentioned, or like Threads, Medium. So these are platforms that are connected within other platforms to cross communicate, to allow these communities to still interact with an audience that is outside on a social platform while not sacrificing their control. And then the migration piece, right? One of the biggest pain points, as Todd, is when a community needs to move off of their current community platform because it no longer serves them to another. Thanks to Anca and our team, we also provide the migration capabilities, because one of the concerns with that client was like, hey, we're not going to move if we can't get our community to migrate over, because if they have to create new accounts, it's going to drop off. I think the percentage like 30 to 60% of communities loses their members when they move to another platform. So they wanted to avoid that. So that's one of the values that we see that we also bring to our clientele, because there's a lot of similar features on a lot of community platforms. So like,
Oh yeah,
really
totally.
make it different beyond the ownership aspect as well. We're going to build community with you, going to help you migrate your people over. And then although we're a startup, we have a strong foundation, but we get to help tailor the experience that you want to see. So
Yeah. Maybe we can take a look at some of that. But Todd, you have a question?
Yeah, so I want to be mindful of our time. I know we've got a limited time with this. So yeah, so show me some other must-see pieces
Yes.
here, and
yeah,
then like I really would like to see what the like as somebody that runs and sets up these communities, like what are my configuration options on the back end? Where are the dials and mad scientist controls, for me to be able to control what this looks like. And then I think I'd like to finish up on talking a little bit about sort of pricing and how you're going to market and
Sure.
right.
what organizations seem to be like a really good fit, for what you're doing. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, let's get back into it. Great.
Great. Yeah. So earlier I showed you a couple of different communities. I showed you the circuit, which looks like this, and I showed you our inside that looks like this. Here's another one that is again a slightly different color scheme.
Really
Um,
clean.
so yeah, so you have some options when you are configuring your community. I will say that everything that you're seeing here on this screen is something that is being retrieved through an API. So you can actually build your own front end to AllPeep if you wanted to do that. And
Hmm.
we've done it. We've built a like an app version of this front end as well. But so within the administration, you have access to do a number of things. So you can see, for example, like all the groups that are on the site. You can invite members. So you can set up your community to allow everybody to join, sort of like joining Twitter or Mastodon or whatever, or you can have an invite. And then within the configuration, there are a whole bunch of things, and I'm not going to walk through all of them. One of the things that you can do is you can make your community available to the public. And so what that means is that if somebody is logged out, and I'm going to double check to make sure this one is still set up that way before we do the big denouement. But yeah, so if it's set up to public content, you can log out and then you can see the parts of the community that are visible to the public. So here you can see this article, this event that I posted, some other events, but the things that are private are not visible. So the communities have this private public concept, which is the first part in our ability to connect them together. Some other things you can change. You can obviously give it a name, a tagline, so you can see that the names of each of these communities in my tabs. You might or might not see that actually, but that shows up here. You can also set email configuration here. You can change the icon that you show. So like, for example, this little flower icon, which
Mhm.
is very different from the T that I use, which I'm now logged out. So I'm going to check it over here. This icon over here. You can also switch from light mode to dark mode, as you can sort of see from inferring. So here's the icon. If you download this to your phone, this will be the icon for the PWA. So your brand, your community is on your phone. It's not an AllPeep app that you have to download to use. It's like your thing. It's the circuit or the Techliminal app or so on. There's you can customize the color, so you can bring in your brand color into the thing, which is and background images as well. There's a welcome page, an email. You can add profile fields. This is something that we're still working on. It's not perfect, but people can put in like their own custom fields, so that if you're running a sports community, you can put what sport do you play, and if you're running a
Mhm.
business community, you can say what's your company URL, that sort of
Really
stuff.
powerful for onboarding. Yeah, that's
Yes.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to bring in like some of the stuff that we've done on the directory for the CCC. We want to bring that into the profile here as well, so you have a lot more options for that, but it's coming. So this is this is all sort of standard. You also have some ability to give people specific access, like can all members create events on the calendar, or is that something that the community manager does? There's also whether you want people to go through a pending member process or if they all become full members right away. It's going to depend on whether people can sign up on their own or if you invite them and so on. There's more that we're going to do here, but this is just sort of the baseline. And then the other thing that we have that is one of our unique features is that you can actually change almost every word that you're seeing here in this interface through our translations area. So like, for example, and this doesn't have a search, so you kind of have to know exactly what you're looking for. But if you wanted to change, for example, here the title says create post and then submit says post, but I can change this word to say submit. And then over here, when I make a new post, this is not the right one, but it'll change to submit.
Right.
There's a refreshing process that I have to do here, but you can actually change the words. And one of our clients wanted to change the way that we say follow. Well, they don't want to use follow; they wanted to use a different word, and so we were able to change that. So, so this really makes it so that you can kind of like rename what this is. Like if somebody wants it to be home, we can make it home.
Helpful branding opportunity there that you don't always get. And it looks like there's a lot of flexibility in what's there. I could probably even call my members something else if I wanted to.
Yeah, it's a little bit, you have to go find all the right places, but you can do that. And that's like amazing.
Yeah. So I could call my members Mouseketeers or something.
Yes.
If I wanted to. Right. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And you don't have to tell us at all. Like we don't have to care. It's like you can do whatever you want with that.
So that's another point. Like as somebody that works with a lot of platforms, some of them you need to file a ticket every time you want to do something like that because you're just not empowered to do it yourself. So this is very enabled for do it yourself. It's very punk. I like the way it is. It's nice.
Yeah. Well, and this is the same thing that will also allow us to translate AllPeeP into languages other than English. And so we bring it up to let in the spirit of like letting you customize so that why not, if it's available, you change, why not?
So I see there's a moderation queue down there. Let's take a quick look at that.
You can flag people, you can report people from within the system here.
Okay.
I think there's some weirdness with my
report a post or report the user if it's a problem user. That's great to see.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're also seeing this here, but there's a pin feature. So like if you're in a group, so this is a product team group right here.
Yep.
I can pin something to the top, like say
that's I can't tell you how many times that is a sorely missed feature when I don't have it.
Yes. And there's probably something important here to pin, but it's way at the bottom now, but I can do that.
Totally get it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I also saw in the administration area, there was an analytics panel.
Yes.
That's currently, there's an update being pushed now, is it?
There might be something going on here. I think there's something funky happening with the
but in the analytics tab, you can pretty much track the amount of engagement you're getting on posts, top posts, the engagement on jams, but it's currently early. We're building out a proof of concept, leveraging AI to help pull the insights within the community to help the community admins to find the specific data they want to find.
Sure. And for those who are thinking about this product, this is being recorded in mid-December 2025 right now. So consider our earlier conversation about the velocity of development of features and take that into consideration. By the time this drops, it might be January, February.
Oh yeah.
For you to take a look at. So some of these things may actually be in play by that point.
Yep.
Yeah. These will both be fixed by like tomorrow.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So this is really excellent stuff. I love just how smooth it is to use the platform. I can probably get in there and very quickly configure a community. And what I love about that, as somebody that has set up and configured a lot of communities, is it lets me then focus on the purpose of the community. Like, how am I going to operationalize it? If I don't have to worry as much about the tech, then it's a lot easier for me to focus on the people, which is what it's really all about. And I love that that's informed your design aesthetic and how you've approached the entire thing. For somebody that's thinking about this, like, are there certain types of organizations, verticals types of businesses that have been you think like a really good fit for AllPeep at this point in your evolution?
Yeah, at this point of our revolution, we've been working with accelerators and founder networks, nonprofits, and foundations, and we're also looking to start working with ERGs and membership-based
Mm,
organizations like the CCC. That has allowed us to build out the custom directory for you all, but the features that we built within there, we're looking to make that seamless within our stack. We're also working with large associations, HOAs, and ecosystem builders, but we're building this to be inclusive. So as we go through these use cases, we're looking to bring on more use cases as we scale and build out the rest of our features. But yeah, that's currently where we've been able to successfully engage and close some partnerships.
that's great. That's great. And to the point which you're comfortable talking about this, like what how do you handle pricing like and levels, for organizations that are thinking about AllPeep as a solution?
Absolutely. So we have 3 tiers right now. We have a starter tier that starts at $60 a month for we pretty much provide you all the features that we just walked you through. And also articles. I'm not sure if we got a chance to show you the
I
articles
saw them
features.
in there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a long form article post, like a Medium post that you can share within. So
That's
our
great.
customers have been basically posting their newsletters that they'll send out within their email publishing system to share with their community. And then the second tier is Pro tier, $300 a month for up to 500 members, and the starters up to 250 members. And then Premium, aka our Enterprise, is where we provide customization. So whether if you want a mobile app within the App Store and iOS Store, we can develop you your own branded app. AllPeep doesn't currently have a centralized app where you can bring your community to. We actually bring our platform to your website or to your app. So we have API integrations, and a lot of our customers are just using our web-based community platform. And then we've just released monetization-based features for memberships through Stripe integrations for any community that would like to have membership-based communities where they're charging their members. If you have a Stripe account, we can help you charge them within the platform. And then we also provide migration services. And then if there's additional features that customers would like, we'll share what's on our roadmap. But the beauty of AllPeep being open source, if you have a developer or access to other developers that can build on top of our framework or software, you can build on top of that without relying on us being locked in within our platform.
So bottom line, I feel like AllPeep is a great solution for a lot of organizations that need that emphasis on privacy, on the ability to do great jams,
Right.
and a variety of other features that you've been able to show us here today. I really appreciate the whirlwind tour of the application. I know there's a lot more there, but at least the intention of this was to give somebody a view to what the platform looks like so that they can make some decisions for themselves if it's right for them. For those of you who have stuck with us through the interview here, what questions do you have about the AllPeep platform? And we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and we are happy to try to answer any and all questions that come along. If you are interested in learning more about AllPeep, you can go to allpeep.com, or you can scan the handy QR code up here in the corner, and we will take it from there. In the meantime, please keep building great communities and take care of yourselves. Get away from the screen from time to time, breathe in the fresh air, touch grass, whatever you can do to get out in nature and rejuvenate yourself, because you can't build great communities if you're not taking care of yourself.
Right.
In the meantime, D'Angelo, Anca, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, Todd.
It was
See you
great
soon.
sharing space. Thank you.